All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 2.
All right.
Wow.
So, the foundation has been set.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time to enact.
Yes. And Bran has stared down Jaime Lannister.
Mm-hmm.
Jaime has gotten here, and given the way they teased the this episode here, it seems like they're going to give Jaime a little bit of a stern talking to.
Yes.
I foresee basically a lot of the let's all work together.
Right.
Here's what we're going to do. Kind of setup.
Yep. Whether they'll get to the battle this episode or next episode, who's to say? I think we can definitely look forward to some Brienne-Jaime conversation since she was absent in the previous episode.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
That's something I'm very much looking forward to. I know you are a huge fan of their
Beauty and the Beast
dynamic.
till I die.
Yes, definitely.
Yep.
In terms of, I would say, other character dynamics that are probably going to be focused on, primarily, it's really going to be the reveal, the R plus L equals J, and basically Jon telling Daenerys.
Right.
And how's that going to go down?
How is she going to respond?
And Sam's prediction of, do you think she would give it up?
Who knows?
For the greater good, for
our sexy time's over.
Yeah,
Who's to say?
for Jon, they very well could be, and in a lot of ways, I think that this will be kind of the question of, do we need the Night King in order to unite us? Finally
unite us.
And if that's the case, humanity's screwed then. Like things are looking really bad. Like if we can't get over the interpersonal drama stuff that was essentially the crux of this show, there's going to be a whole bunch of ice zombies and not a lot of living people.
Mm-hmm. Basically what Ned Stark talked about in the first season. Yeah.
But winter is now here. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
I promised to fight for the living. I intend to keep that promise.
Hey.
Grace, I know my brother.
Like you knew your sister.
Oh!
Ouch.
Oh!
Everything I did for my house and my family. I'd do it all again.
All right.
Things we do for love.
Oh! Oh! Yeah. Brienne.
Because this goes beyond loyalty. This is about survival.
Time for an impassioned speech.
But I know Sir Jaime. He is a man of honor. Without him, my lady, you would not be alive.
Oh!
Because he'd sworn an oath to your mother.
Yep.
Brienne!
All right.
Brienne!
You vouch for him. I do.
It's happening. It's happening. It's happening.
We should let him stay.
Oh, nice. She basically subverted Dany there too. Nice. I like how Sansa handled that by using Brienne.
He's like, we need to talk
Brienne's
in
words
private.
and stuff. That was very, very good. But this is still awkward as hell.
Oh yeah.
Brienne and Jaime.
Brienne and Jaime.
Yes. Okay, there will be time for that.
Talk. Kiss.
No. Brienne's going to talk to Sansa. Oh yeah. The things we do for love.
She's like, dang, he's sexy as.
She's like, that's hot.
Yeah. That's hot. That's hot.
Oh, that's hot.
And the flushed cheeks.
She's like,
checked him out.
Oh my god, she's so into him.
Safer down in the crypt,
I know death.
Wish she showed a little bit more effort in how she threw it.
Yeah.
It
It looked like she was just kind of casually just
doing
like,
this.
yeah.
I'll get right on it.
He's like, okay, that's hot.
That's hot, yeah.
Yeah. He's dealt with Lannister Thanksgivings. He's pretty sure this won't be too bad. So,
I'm sorry for what I did to you.
Wow. Humble right out the gate. Good.
I'm not that person anymore.
You still would be if you hadn't pushed me out of that window.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell them?
You won't be able to help us in this fight if I let them murder you first.
What about afterwards?
How do you know there is an afterwards?
yeah.
Do you know if there's an afterwards, Bran? Stop dicking with us.
Mm-hmm.
See, the thing is, I feel like Bran has shifted into that type of villain who's got a plan, but you don't actually know if his plan is good or if it's gonna work,
Right.
And it's like, Bran, you're supposed to be a good guy. Can you tell us what your plan is at least? Like, how are you going to be effective here?
Not the death I would have chosen. I always pictured myself dying in my own bed.
With the mouth,
A belly full of wine and a girl's mouth around my cock.
Wow.
How could they pass that up? Like, they had to.
Oh, it's Brienne. Brienne. Pod's like barely even like putting in effort anymore.
Yeah. It's like, please. Please.
She's come a long way.
Oh.
He's all right. Still has a lot to learn.
Oh,
The
nice.
double entendre.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Been told you're commanding the left flank.
I am. It's good ground. The rise. We should give us some advantage. If we can keep a tight formation, we might be able to beat them back.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I think you know. We have never had a conversation last this long without you insulting me. Not once.
You want me to insult you?
No.
Good. I came to Winterfell because
So cute.
I'd be honored to serve under your command, if you'll have me.
If you'll have me. Oh my god, Jacob. It's all right there. And one of them has to die now, Jacob.
I think Brienne was wanting him to say, I love you, but...
Sansa. Oh. Come in with humility.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
establish
okay.
a connection here.
Wow.
Lady Sansa, I was hoping we could speak alone.
Okay, let's
All right.
have some.
All
let's
right.
have some girl power here. Like this is okay. All
Yep.
right.
Families are complicated.
Oh, nice.
Certainly have been.
Sad thing to have in common. I should have thanked you the moment you arrived.
I'm here because I love your brother. And I trust him. And I know he's true to his word.
Your Grace.
What is it?
Oh, good. Oh, the wounded puppy has returned.
Yeah.
Oh.
I want to fight for Winterfell, Lady Sansa.
Oh, give a good hug. Give a good hug here. Oh.
Redemption all around.
So many people gonna die.
Yeah.
This is too wholesome. So
Basically,
many people
just-
gonna die.
Everyone is just loading another round. Shame. Damn shame.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So they made it here.
Yeah.
They made it here in time. That's awesome. Oh. Just the sudden
Tormund, the wild Tormund appears.
How much time do we have left?
How did you find each other? We met up at the last hearth.
We had to travel around them to get here. Whoever's not here now is with them.
Wow.
How long do we have?
Before the sun comes up tomorrow.
Yeah, this is gonna be some Helm's Deep fight at night kind of.
Yep.
The big woman's still here?
He's just like might have time for one last boning.
The Night King made them all. They follow his command. If he falls,
You win.
getting to him may be our best chance.
He's like, will that line work?
We'll bang, okay?
Yeah.
Or will we bang?
We'll get some rest. Let's all have meaningful conversations with people there are sexual tensions with.
Yep. So we can all have some hot sex right before the final battle.
We will protect you.
All right.
I feel like Barbossa, just kiss!
Yeah.
You know?
Just kiss her. Is that just a single arrow? Wait, is that for the dragon?
Oh.
Holy crap.
No, it's a bow staff. It's a double-edged bow staff like she
Last
trained
time you
with.
saw me, you wanted me to come to Winterfell.
We're probably going to die soon.
Whoa.
I ought to know what it's like before that happens.
What?
Is this really happening?
She's grown up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So confident. Just,
Yep.
you go, girl.
I think we might live. I do.
Women can't be knights.
Why not?
Tradition.
Fuck tradition. I'm no king. But if I were, I'd knight you 10 times over.
You don't need a king.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh, Jamie.
Kneel.
Jamie is totally gonna die now.
Oh yeah.
He's doing so many good, awesome things.
I know. He's dead. He's so dead. He's super dead.
Oh. I just don't want it to be Brienne. I feel like...
I know, but...
I feel like it can't be both, because that would be just too painful.
That would suck too much. She's so much taller than him.
I know, right?
Arise, Brienne of Tarth. A knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
Oh,
awesome.
Oh, that's the good stuff right there. That's such a good smile.
Yeah.
What have you got there?
It's called Heartsbane.
Yeah.
It's my family sword.
You've got to be a wizard and renounce your paladin weapon.
I'd be honored if you take it.
And this is a two-handed
sword.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is a little ice,
Right.
I'll see you when it's through.
Yeah, Jorah's dead.
Oh, there's a lot of people that are gonna die, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
Yep.
I hope we win.
Me too. Me too.
Yep.
Me too, Sam. Me too.
How about a song?
Who can sing? Podrick.
Brienne?
Podrick can sing. Podrick.
In the halls of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
kings who are gone, never wanted to leave.
Yeah. Good.
Oh boy.
This reminds me of Faramir and Pippin and Denethor's kind of thing.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Home is behind.
Right, this conversation for last.
Oh, that's Danny, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then here we go. In the crypts.
All right.
Crypts.
My name. My real name. Is Aegon Targaryen.
Oh.
It's impossible.
I wish it were.
You'd have a claim to the Iron Throne.
So what are we gonna do about this?
Just say I don't care about that. Of course.
You should say that.
That's 2 horns. And that's the 3rd horn. Yep. Here we go. Yep, no time for talking.
Mm-hmm.
They're here. And Tyrion's on the wall. He is not in the crypts.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Wow.
That's a lot of White Walkers.
Oh my god.
All right.
Okay.
So, battle did not happen this episode, but
no.
Boy, are we ready for it.
We are ready. I feel like this episode could very easily be interpreted as basically just kind of we need to acknowledge that these characters all have had very large stories going up until this point.
Yeah.
And it would be a disservice to forget them.
Mm-hmm.
And that is basically encapsulated in Bran's little thing about, we need to remember them.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to have an everlasting night, make us all forget.
Right.
And him being the target is a cool plot mechanic thing that we'll discuss for sure. But there's also some very, I would say, kind of poignant stuff being thrown out there. Just that this show has so much nostalgia wrapped in it on it as we're approaching the end, that while this slows down the pacing a lot to have,
it does
very, very calm, quiet, with some classic just kind of awkward tension kind of conversations going on in there, because the next episode is going to be nothing like anything we've ever seen before. It's going to be like the Watchers on the Wall episode times like 2 or 3. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be absolutely crazy,
ridiculous. I feel like this was basically something where they were saying, okay, a lot of people are going to die.
Yep.
So let's prep things so that you remember just how much you care about all these characters.
Yep.
so that we can kill any of the ones we need to. And strangely enough, I feel like the ones for instance, I would have liked a little bit more from the Hound. Maybe
that's why I know the Hound's going to be
and
okay.
that's why I know the Hound's going to be okay. And I guess we also kind of know that because Clegane Bowl needs to happen. So it's kind of like a meta thing of like, we're not going to waste time on the Hound here. We're just going to have that little bit with Arya and the Hound because,
right.
Yeah, that needs to happen. But the character interactions really were good this episode. Like in the previous season, I kind of felt like some of them were sort of fan servicey, and just like, okay, let's have
in a negative way,
in a negative way potentially, where it was like, okay, let's have all these characters interact because it's fun and it's great and it's witty and all that stuff. But
this is similar to that,
right? This is similar to that, but in the previous season, it didn't really feel like it fit all of the time.
Okay,
sometimes it did, but sometimes it didn't.
Okay.
Whereas with this is the perfect time to have all of that in the story from a mechanical perspective of how all the pieces and the characters fit together, but also just the fact that like
you can't really have this at any point after this upcoming battle,
right?
One, because a lot of people will be dead.
Yeah, like the only way you could have something like this after this point is if it's like when almost everyone's dead and it's like the end is right here.
Yeah, but that's different. That's
different, right?
This is basically it's a little bit of a poke at the audience. It's basically saying, the storm is coming, but we're going to do our best to try and make you forget it's coming.
Right.
Just for a little bit of time. Yeah. I feel like memory, forgetting, and holding on to what matters was really a good, important thing with this episode. We had characters who held on to a little bit of their pride, like Dany with the whole way things were done with Jaime in the beginning.
And Sansa later.
And Sansa a little bit later. But then you had each of them giving up a little bit here and there in order to basically hold on to what was really important.
Right, yeah.
And you had characters like Brienne and Jaime who they held on to each other because
even
they
if
were what was most
Tormund did
important.
interrupt.
Yeah, they had some massive, serious, Beauty and the Beast cock blocking, stuff happening for real with their whole thing there by Tormund and
everyone
else. And while Tormund is
lovable,
hilarious and ridiculous, I really loved the initial first scene with Jaime and Brienne after the judgment thing. Yes, outside. That was there was so many layered little things going on in that scene's dialogue,
and just generally
really
being
special.
adorkable. Like it was.
Well, that
was
too.
Just lovely. Yeah. But my Beauty and the Beast heart is not satisfied. I need more. And the thing is that how much they built up so many of them dying. I'm really thinking you're right. As much as I hate to admit it, Jaime's gonna die, and the last bit that they're going to have with Jaime and Brienne is going to be before he dies or as he's dying.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing, y'all. Look at all the heroes this episode. Look at all the people that took basically they all took the hard road. They all took the
Arya certainly took the hard road.
I mean, she rode the hard, if that's what you're meaning,
Yes.
So there you go. All 9.5 inches of that arrowhead blacksmith hard.
Hey, there was a lot of king's blood.
It was a battle of hammer and tongs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yes. The North will rise again, indeed. Okay, so now that we've got all those jokes out of the way, we see that specifically with regards to how this battle is shaping up, there will be a lot of people that die. But the characters that they seem to be focusing on, the ones that will die, are the ones whose either their story has ended and they will need to be remembered in the future.
Right.
That's why these moments here matter. Or in some ways, they're going to be very much remembered by a specific someone. And I am thinking very much of the emotional impact of something like the Snappening. So we need at least one character who cares deeply about the deaths in order for them to really hit. So let's go off our main obvious deaths coming up here. I think Jaime is actually not as obvious as someone like, I'm gonna say it, Grey Worm.
Oh yes, definitely.
Grey Worm is probably, in my opinion, the most obvious sad death that we're gonna have, because Missandei will definitely survive this whole thing.
Right.
And
he literally
he is going to be on the front lines battling the main army, probably.
Well, and also, he was the only person that did when all of this is over, let's run away together.
Yep.
They could have done something like that with Jamie and Brienne. It wouldn't have really worked or something, but they could have done something like that with Arya and Gendry, or whatever.
Like Sam and Gilly.
Exactly,
but they didn't.
right.
It was
they did
just these two. So
yeah.
Grey Worm's my number 1. Who would be your number 2 if you were to add someone onto this list?
I don't know. I want to say Jamie, but the thing is, Jamie really should have died last season with that whole dragon charge. So I don't know.
He could survive, but I'm still banking on him being like my number 5 or number 4 death.
Right, because it almost feels like they're stacking too much up on Jamie and Tyrion dying. Because also Bronn wasn't shown this episode, which I appreciate, not doing a quick travel, but he also has been tasked with killing them. But it's like, okay, is he actually going to do that? And there's this whole fight going on, so there's that too.
He's gonna be at like some castle along the way, and he'll be like waiting for word from Winterfell, and it'll be like, the dead are coming. And, they failed or something.
Or he'll be riding up on his horse. He'll see the dead attacking, and he'll either be like, well, fuck this shit, and turn around and go the other way. Or he'll go in and he'll end up saving them.
No.
He'll end up helping in some way.
No, I think he's way too smart to even go near the whole thing. He's basically just going to be like, okay, so if they do succeed, then I have to kill them. So I'll wait a little bit south of them. If they don't see them, they don't succeed, then I don't have to kill them.
Well, and then I could just say, yep, the job is done.
No, but then he'll be like, nope, then I'm taking a boat to Essos as fast as possible. Like, screw everything to do with
get
Westeros.
Out of here. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I would say the next most obvious person to die probably was Beric Dondarrion.
Oh yes.
He has no real big story here, and he was like, the Lord of Light has assembled us all here. And
the thing is that I don't think there's anyone really to care about him other than maybe Clegane. But
well, no, I think that is his story is over.
Oh, sure.
Who's going to remember him? It's almost a thing of like, there's the people that will remember, and then there's the people whose story is essentially over. And I think Beric is just like, he should have died at the wall, really. With Tormund also. So Tormund also is a potential death, but I would say for the memes, Tormund lives. He's also too badass and crazy.
I don't know. They could have something.
He'd be a very scary white, though.
Yeah, he would be. But I think they could kill him off and have it work really well.
Okay.
But
Jamie,
I totally get the Beric Dondarrion.
Jamie, I would put somewhere around 4 or 5.
Beric Dondarrion. Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't want Ser Jorah to die. He was just given
I know.
Bane.
And the thing is, here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's a two-handed weapon.
Yep.
You don't have a shield with that. That means you'll probably go out in a blaze of glory. So.
Okay, here's the thought, though. How does anyone live? Well, here's the problem. Because
the Night King isn't going to die.
Okay. Two problems here. One, why is anyone stationed outside the castle?
Yeah, that.
Two. Okay, what is their getaway plan in case this all doesn't work? Can they outrun the whites? I don't know if they can. Is a dragon gonna stay behind with Dany and they're just gonna carpet bomb everything that they can, hoping that they'll get away?
Right.
Also, why
something.
didn't they do some kind of shot of the dragon and the Night King just kind of waiting there ominously, and then they go charge or something like the Uruk-hai in Helm's Deep and stuff?
Yeah.
Is it just a CGI thing?
I don't know. I think it might be something of like they want the Night King appearing to be like Sauron showing up at the Battle of the Last Alliance.
Oh, that's the other thing. They introduced the whole tactics thing of the Night King would never show himself if he was actually the linchpin that would end this whole thing. And Bran's like, no, I'll lure him out because he wants me, because he's been he's been specifically
killing the three-eyed ravens,
past three-eyed ravens. So, do you think this fits into any of my weird theories in the past? The whole idea of the Night King with the whole cycle and
Bran the Builder and
the brands of the brands of the brands.
I don't know, but if this brand starts flaring up, then we know that the undead are near.
Okay,
joke.
So how do they get out? How do they get away?
Okay, so the Night King is not going to die here.
No, obviously.
Right.
It's the beginning of the season. Oh, the middle.
Right.
Coming up. Yeah.
But that's just not going to happen because there's no way they're going to have Cersei and all that stuff be the grand finale.
Now they could.
They could.
They have 2 dragons. They have 2 dragons, Jacob.
No, I know, but like when I think about what's been built up more, like the dead and everything that's been built up a lot more than just, fighting the Lannisters.
Yes, definitely. But so there's 3 scenarios I think that come out of this here. One, a ragtag group of people escape with no army, some horses and some dragons. That's it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? That's one scenario. Yeah. I don't think there's a scenario here where everyone actually dies. That would be crazy.
And you don't think there's going to be something where it's like there's a random tunnel in the crypts that they discover that takes
No. I actually think that's the main thing that they're going to do. That's something that they're going to have to do. The other scenario is actually where they win, but the reason why they win has nothing to do with the battle being won. It's the idea that why do they have to fight Winterfell? Why don't they just
keep going?
Why don't they just have like 30-40% of them go to Winterfell? Yay, we won at Winterfell.
Oh, sure.
BT dubs.
Yeah.
The 60% of the rest of them went out everywhere else. You're all going to die.
Right. So like Winterfell is one tiny little place on a very big map.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Night King could just be like, oh, sure. I mean,
right. He's like, I have an army of 5 million.
Right.
Like,
and I'm going to grow that army to 50 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because here's the other thing. Who cares about whether or not they can actually like fight off the White Walkers? If any of them die, there's a potential that they just get summoned back up, kind of, like hard home.
Yeah.
And if that happens, lines, like whole battle lines and tactics and all that are broken. Like you have your comrade on the right of you, and they're basically like, fighting. And then a stray like axe gets flung through, hits them in the chest, they die. They fall down. You have to either immediately burn them right then and there in the snow,
or hit them with your obsidian weapon in the face, real quick, or what? Like,
because we don't know if this is a passive aura of some dark lich where basically if anyone dies after 10 seconds they immediately come back up, or he has to cast his spell in an AoE
on initiative count 20 every round.
Use 3 legendary actions.
Right. So they're screwed.
They're screwed. It's just how screwed are they?
How screwed they are. That's the real question. How much do they want? They're going to make this hurt bad.
The third scenario is basically that they split their forces. And basically what happens is they realize they will eventually lose. And they have some people stay to hold them off. And they secretly just start funneling everyone out as fast as possible before they get surrounded. Someone has to make the hard call, though. And that's the point where I think a lot of people will die.
Well, and that's also where there's an opportunity for sacrifice.
Yes, exactly. Because you don't have to show these deaths on screen. Basically, these would be the kind of people of go. I'll hold them off.
And for the important ones, you show them dying or whatever, but you don't have to have that take long either.
No. It's basically hold the door, the door. But on a grander scale. Y'all, they were basically prepping us with hold the door. They were basically like, oh, you think hold the door was sad? Oh, you aren't ready for the Winterfell hold the door.
So
because I'm just saying, if you have armies outside the walls, I understand why you do it. You keep them away from the gate so they can't siege it. But the issue is that those men are going to die eventually.
Right. And I guess
especially
the
when you
idea
fight
is
against the undead.
Right. And I guess the idea is that, okay, if you're in front of the gate, then you could like have people cycle in and out of the gate or whatever. If you keep that as like a choke point or whatever, something, I guess.
Possibly.
I don't know. But just so that you're not on your last line.
They have the
defense.
Trench, which I love the idea of lighting this trench on fire and basically it being a funnel point in case they are actually terrified of fire. So it's not a thing of like where they can
divide the enemy forces.
The problem is, another thing that we've seen in the past is what happens when a White Walker encounters fire. They just
Yeah, White Witch it. Yeah,
yeah, it just splits.
Yep. And say nothing about the Night King. So
yeah. If he lights up that front area once with his dragon, half of them are dead.
You know what would have been awesome?
Yeah,
is if Cersei never blew up the Sept, and then they took all that wildfire here and just strewn it everywhere, loaded on the trebuchets. Just
that would be great. You know what it would be is they'd have a skeleton crew, no pun intended, of people in Winterfell, and basically these are all just their quick people, they're runners, and they just light the thing. And then everyone else is in the crypts, and they have the go. The dead come in, like, orc style Mordor, 200,000 of them come in. They swarm the place. They have the White Walkers. They're all, where is everyone? And then Bran basically would be the only one in there. And he would basically give like the double like bird and then ascend into his true form, and they'd be like, shit, and then boom,
his wheelchair just floats away as he's giving the double bird to the Night King.
Oh, double bird! The bird! Oh, it works! But the idea that he would like actually ascend and become a being of energy and memory and then operate independently without a body.
But
and then the White Walkers, anyone in there, just be like, run! And then boom, 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 the whole Winterfell explodes in green fire. See, Jacob, you should be writing this show. You're a genius. I can just be your editor on some of the dialogue and add in some colorful like little things.
I gotta say though, the dialogue, like even when I don't like necessarily what Game of Thrones does with the plot, they know how to do banter.
Yes, they do.
The banter this episode was absolutely fantastic, not just with the entertaining stuff with like Tormund and whatnot, but with the emotional impact of these scenes in this dialogue between these characters, even though I would have liked more from the Hound, between all these other characters, since even if not all of them die, they all are coming to terms with their own death. Yeah. And that is a huge deal right there.
Totally.
And then of course Bran's whole comment about, remembering, and that's when people die. That's what death really is.
Yeah.
Forgetting.
So do we want to go into the lore aspect of that at all? Because here's the thing. Sam and him kind of gave a like, hey, so Bran, we knew he was marked by the Night King, but Bran kind of downloaded some knowledge along the while. Basically, that the Night King has been an enemy of the Three-Eyed Ravens, plural. Now, we knew there was obviously more than one, but we didn't know that there were many. And the idea that these Three-Eyed Ravens all existed at, some point. They all existed over the course of history. What was the purpose of the Three-Eyed Raven all this time then? Because there's something that I feel like we're missing, and that is why the Three-Eyed Raven needed to be, basically this chosen human. Basically this human that the Children of the Forest reached out to and basically psychically contacted.
Right.
And we're like, you have a torch of destiny. And yet...
Yeah.
So, if the Night King wants the Three-Eyed Raven... Yeah, I'm not really seeing the immediate...
All that I got was that Tyrion talked with Bran for an indeterminate amount of time.
This is true.
And it was off screen.
Right.
Now,
so who knows what could have been said
there. Knows what could have been said there.
Whatever the plot demands.
Whatever the plot demands. And the thing is Tyrion going to be the next Three-Eyed Raven after Bran dies? No, I'm 97% sure. But
I'm also certain they won't need a Three-Eyed Raven after this show is
Good
over.
point. Yeah. But I'm very glad that they had that conversation happen, because that was one of those ones that didn't have to happen from the standpoint of previously established relationships and dynamics, right? But that being said, that was excellent, and it basically helps show that Tyrion's still a smart cookie. He, some things might have gotten complicated and stuff.
For sure.
And the was I way more excited to see him and Jaime talking? Yes.
Right.
But that tickled me a bit.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Jaime talking to Bran.
Yep.
Yeah, that was that was great.
And Jamie's just like, this is going much better than I expected.
Right, yeah.
You seem surprisingly okay with this.
Yeah, Jamie talking with Brienne was great, but talking, I would say, also with Tyrion had some of its lighter moments, but just realizing how much has changed. But there were some funny little callbacks. The whole the age of 80.
Yep.
With
in my bed with
mug of beer in my hand or mug of ale in my hand with a woman's mouth around my cock. You know.
Yep.
It's like, yep, okay, cool.
That's
cool.
right. Yeah.
Go back to when he was in Tyrion was in the woods with those the hill tribes.
Yes.
And barely survived that with Bronn.
Right.
But then him knighting Brienne was really emotional. That was really, really sweet and heartwarming.
Yep. See, the thing is, my shipping heart is still not satisfied. That was absolutely wonderful, and it was amazing, and it was so wonderful. But there's that part of me that wonders, like back when they were talking outside, when, you know, she's like, why did you come out here? And he says the whole thing of, you know, well, I'd like to serve under you if you'll have me. And then she leaves, doesn't say anything. It's like,
well, Jacob, I think she's having to deal with her emotions.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you knew what they all knew what the subtext was.
Oh, I know. But it might have been something where she wanted him specifically to say it.
I know, but the thing is that this isn't that type of show. This is a show of very flawed, passive-aggressive people.
Well, but also specifically with the dynamic between Jamie and Brienne, that's one of the things, like, the whole things of the things that they will say and the things that they won't say, that's part of what makes it so entertaining.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. Overall, I would say that this episode... took its time, but I was sold on it being a build-up episode when the song started. When Pod started singing, it really reminded me of Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, and the fact that it was the one that Pod was the one that was singing.
Yeah, Pod does feel like a Pippin, a wholesome boy who's kind of bumbled his way a bit around great and powerful people, and yet is still around and is this great source of positivity and wholesomeness, and I would say almost the last touch of innocence amongst those who have seen so much. Like Pod has seen much. Pod the legend.
Yep.
Pod
the rod.
Pod the rod, indeed. Yeah. Yes. Pod and his his magic rod. Yes, indeed.
That's right.
Maybe it was his tongue. I mean, now he can sing.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe it was something in those areas that he did. Anyways, jokes aside, it was really like something like straight out of a Lord of the Rings film. And now we're about to go into a final, like, kind of Lord of the Rings battle in the dark against a horde army. And there is no way we're going to win. But
no.
There are so many crazy things that can happen along the way. And knowing that the next episodes are like over an hour and 20 minutes long.
Oh, yeah.
I am so hard right now with excitement. I am just I've been waiting. We waited so long. I've waited so long.
Yeah.
We waited so long.
And I have to say the whole thing of John telling Danny, and okay, the conversation between John and Sam on the wall. It's like, so you told her yet? No. that was just
those conversations were really good.
That was so wonderful. But he told her, and now she knows. But of course,
and then immediately
they cut away from that because we can't.
The elven horn arrived because it's wow, I'm an idiot. What's his name?
Haldir.
Haldir, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm
except
such a
it's not. Except it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, except it's not. It's
that happened earlier, and it was a much hornier Haldir. But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I'm just trying to plug as many Lord of the Rings references as
I'm all for that. Yeah, and they even had the very like heartwarming conversation with the young person who wants to fight and everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know, with the more experienced veteran, you know, like the equivalent of the Aragorn talking to the other person. Yeah.
Haleth, son of Hama, my lord.
Mm-hmm. The men say that we will not live out the night.
They say that it is hopeless.
There is always hope. Yeah.
Proceeds to put on chainmail in an epic way, while Gimli can't get his chainmail across his boobs. If we had time, I'd get this adjusted. God, I just realized, like, a lot of the banter and stuff that happens in Helm's Deep is almost exactly like what they were going for here, but in a Game of Thrones style.
Right. Yeah.
And I am so ready for
this fight is going to suck, and it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be a spectacle.
It's going to be glorious
of unimagined proportions. It's just I cannot wait.
I'm really excited to see what they do with the dragons, specifically given that the Night King has shown that his Olympian skills are rather good.
They might.
Yeah.
I really hope they don't pull there's a lot of CGI for one episode. We're going to keep our dragons near Bran so we protect him. But the reason why we
Ghosts, because
I mean, yes, also that, and maybe like zombie mammoths, you know, for all we know.
Sure.
But also because if you actually had a dragon probably just, you know, torch the dead, you might do a lot better in the battle.
Yeah.
I hope they don't be like, we can't send out the dragons. I think it's going to be more of when they start getting desperate, they'll bring out the dragons.
Here's the thing. All right, this is something that I was wondering if they would bring up.
Okay.
Probably not.
What's that?
Theoretically, because the big thing that I need to worry about is the Night King's dragon that he's got now, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the Night King can also throw those javelins and just kill dragons, right?
Sure.
I would have been curious to see if someone recommended or brought up the idea of potentially using the dragons as sacrifices to try and get the Night King. Because if the dragons are out there, that's also something that the Night King probably needs to take care of. If he doesn't, they can toast the armies, right?
Sure. And there's no way that they can throw things high enough, high enough to hit the dragons with where the dragons can probably fly.
Right.
Like the dragons can fly really high.
Exactly. And I'm pretty sure the White Walkers won't be able to do what the Night King did. I'm pretty sure that was something that only the Night King would really be able to do.
No, I'm sure that the regular White Walkers could do something similar.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But I don't think a white could do anything about that.
Oh, yeah. No.
Which means that in some way, the White Walkers have to be amongst the army of the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a good thing, I would say, for our heroes.
Yep.
Because then you could just have a dragon just carpet bomb, and it's like, oh, oops, we hit a White Walker. 250 whites over there just randomly just dropped dead.
Well, what I would love to see is we saw Arya practicing with a longbow. So, what I would love to see is her assassin skills being put to use, because that whole
they definitely will
is cool. But I would love much more for her to just be way up, like on the wall, and just be like, okay, cool. Oh, there you are. There's one.
And I mean, that's what the archers are going to be for. But Jacob, it's going to be really dark. They're not going to see crap. Like, come on, let's be a little realistic.
Hey, that's why they need to have the dragons light up the place and have the fire and everything. Because then, when the White Walkers
steam,
because
of the snow.
No, well, okay, but when the White Walkers split the fire because they can do that, then you're like, there's a White Walker.
Oh, sure.
You've got a visual cue to, more than just trying to pick them out, needle in a haystack.
Yeah, I think they'll do rather well in the beginning, but they'll ultimately lose.
In the stamina battle, they're going to lose because they have to.
Yeah, because the dead have no stamina.
Right, which is again why the dragons would be so helpful, because you're burning bodies to a crispy toast.
The whole concept of if it bleeds, I can kill it. But if it has hit points, it can die. In this case, the undead have it's like where their energy bar would be. There's a little infinity symbol, and you're like, okay, they only have 17 HP, but wait.
Right, which is why you must burn them. Hence dragons. But
yeah, unlimited.
Just napalm everything.
Unlimited bone works.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all, things are gonna be crazy.
Yep.
And next episode, I hope I'm ready. So
It's going to be insane.
If you want to see our full-length reaction to all our Game of Thrones reactions, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can watch those there. Any level of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us about the show and our theories and discuss it in general, or just hang out and talk about whatever. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.